we all set?
Hold on.
Roll.
I'm rolling.
Can I have you say and spell your first and last name?
Sure. Paul Sisco, S-I-S-C-O.
And for our record, who do you represent?
Spencer Heintz, H-E-I-N-T-Z.
Good day for him, right?
It was a good day for him, but it was a good day for justice also. The correct decision was made.
Why do you think the decision was made to drop these charges?
Well, there's 4 gentlemen in a boat that's involved here. The state attorney's office was willing to, and they looked at all the facts and they looked at the case law, and it's clear that there were different roles among the 4 men that were in the boat. There was nothing Mr. Heintz did at all that contributed in any way to any of the activities that were charged in the case. Nothing that constituted a crime.
Has he said anything about what happened if that shark was alive or not?
Well, that's not clear at this point. Mr. Heintz will be available to anyone who wishes to call him as a witness, but I can tell you he's fully cooperating in terms of coming forward and telling the truth. And both the state attorney's office in looking at it, and of course us in looking at it, don't believe any crime was committed. No elements existed to prove the charges against Mr. Heintz.
What do you think about all of the attention around this case? I mean, this was started with a video that went viral, then hundreds of thousands of people signed a petition for these charges to come about. Really all centers around social media. Well,
it does, but we're in Florida, and the water is our real treasure. Both the prosecutor and I are sportsmen. We fish. There's a lot of activity that doesn't necessarily constitute criminal charges that might be objectionable to folks, and certainly is to sportsmen. That doesn't mean it constitutes a crime as it pertains to all 4 of the people on the boat.
So your client may end up cooperating with the prosecution?
Well, he may. His intent is to tell the truth fully. So he's not cooperating with anyone in particular. He's going to be sworn in and he'll tell the truth if he's called as a witness, and he's certainly willing to do that.
The deposition they're taking today might answer the final questions in this case, correct?
Well, they might. I believe today they're taking one of the experts' depositions, and there's going to be an opinion, I think, rendered as to whether or not the shark was alive or dead at the time it was dragged.
There's speculation out there that there may be video of the kids actually filleting the shark and eating it. What can you tell me about that?
Well, there's absolutely nothing illegal about filleting and eating a black-tip shark. It happens every day. In fact, it's one of the non-protected sharks. It's eaten regularly in Tampa Bay. It's not necessarily one that people look to because some folks find it distasteful, but it is legal to harvest and fillet and to eat a black-tip shark in the state.
What does that video show you in this case?
Well, you've seen it, and clearly there's things about the dragging that are objectionable and distasteful. What I can tell you is Mr. Heintz had nothing to do with the dragging of that shark.
Can you talk about the evidence that the assistant state attorney mentioned, referred to in the courtroom?
Well, it's a difficult case in some ways for the state because you have a boat in open water with 4 individuals on it, and in large part you're dependent on the testimony of those 4 folks on the boat. Mr. Heintz is a good historian and has a good recollection of exactly what took place on the boat and intends to tell the truth fully.
So according to him, was the shark alive at the time it was being dragged?
We're not clear about that at this point. I can tell you that the opinion of Mr. Heintz is that that shark was deceased at the time it was being dragged, but it's not necessarily a factual question in terms of what somebody's perception of that is.
Anything else? I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Okay.